over 100 people are interested in the topic and joined us in today's session. I think especially the collaboration part just got a bit more important during the last 2-3 weeks since SAP announced the integration of Teams into the SAP product portfolio. So the SAP CEO, Christian Klein, said integrating Teams would bring collaboration to the next level and enable the frictionless enterprise. Both companies confirmed that the integration shall be implemented around the middle of this year. So let's see in which products it will be implemented, how that will work. I'm quite excited about it because we also use Teams in the CubeServe. In 2020, in the past year, we focused more on the whole SAP Analytics features like building stories, dashboards, the analytic features, combination of predictive and planning features and functionalities. This year, we will regularly hold webinars addressing the latest SAC features and function, which we believe will be beneficial in your daily work. As you might know, every quarter there is at least one new release from SAC, and we will closely look and see what could be of interest and then build some of it, show you some of it. Now, one short slide to organizational matters. The webinar will take approximately 45 minutes. And feel free to ask questions via the chat functionality, which you find in the toolbar. We will collect the questions, and if we cannot reply them during the 45 minutes, you will get the response by email. We are also, of course, also looking to receive your feedback and additional questions. So at the end of the session, there will be a questionnaire pop up. And as usual, you will get the download link for the presentation and also the video. We are recording the session. You will get, I think, by tomorrow. So all participants are muted. Then let's have a look at the agenda. Commenting collaboration is not really new in the SAC. There was from the first release, there were a couple of features, functions available. However, with every rollout, with every release, there were some smaller adjustments, some bigger also improvements and enhancements, and especially in Q4 of last year, the so-called commenting widget was rolled out. But before we jump into the live demo, which Yanis will do, let's have a look at the 2021 finance key issues, which were just published by the Hacker Group, and also why collaboration and commenting is an important feature. So here we see the top 10 2021 finance key issues, and I will not talk through all of them, don't worry, then 45 minutes probably would not be enough, but I picked out a few which I believe have some connection to collaboration and commenting. Number one, act as a strategic advisor. I think commenting is an important part for this, but you need time to do that. So copy paste from previous months is probably just not enough. It might go wrong. And if your aim, which I believe is to be a valued business partner, it means that the report generation must be much faster, more automated, which then will give you time to really analyze and comment the data, which I believe is, for a lot of the participants, is the main job, is actually to analyze and comment the data and not to copy paste data from this PowerPoint, this Excel to that Word, etc. Then on number two, improve cost efficiency, as reducing processing costs is probably on everybody's agenda, not just now, I think all the time. And of course, also here, commenting, collaboration without media breaks, support this. You can avoid copy-paste errors that can also be avoided. Then Let me combine number 7 and number 9. Modern tools such as the SAP Analytics Cloud combine all the necessary functions and features in one solution. So collaborating and commenting is just one feature. We talked about all the other features in previous webinars, but that really supports the whole, let's say, the holistic solution with which you can do your job. Then we need not just to analyze and report in one story, but the whole commenting, and as I said before, so everything is stored in one place. You don't have a Word with comments and an Excel with the data and then a PowerPoint where you copy everything together. So you have everything in one place, or as you might see on this kind of smartphone, in your digital library and not in various places in various files. Then apart from the commenting, collaboration, that's not a new task. It is around for ages. I mean, we always collaborated in a certain way with our colleagues, with different departments, with your branches outside, with your maybe regional offices. In order to comment the numbers correctly, you have to understand the business, you need to talk to people. But what really has changed a lot is the way we can do it. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you would write a lot of emails, you ask questions, emails are not read, they are not being replied. Maybe they ask you back, what do you mean exactly? So right now, what we will also see afterwards, from within the tool, you can just ask your question, address the right people, ask them, send them a link to the story or send them a link to the table where you expect to have more information, more input from them. And for a long time, that's also one of our logos. We always believe that, we strongly believe that that only combined thinking, that means tapping into all resources, is the key for success. So we have prepared a few 3 short questions before I hand over to Yanis. So let me start them. So I will kindly ask you to reply them. They're quite short. So what we would like to know, how and if you are already using the SAP Analytics Cloud. So I wait maybe 1-2 seconds more. So, okay. So, yeah, I think so. We have about 40% are using it productive. About 20% have trial versions, and 40% are planning to use it or planning to start using it during this year. Then the next one. So we have here in this question, which purpose do you need it? We have 76% is the stories, 9% planning, 2% predictive, and that's the answer on this one. So I have the last one. And what's your, how do you rate the collaboration commenting for your job? I know that might be different depending on your role, but yes, okay, I think there's very clear results. 70% already say it's a must. It's changing now a bit to 60-40, but definitely it is over 50%. For over 50% of the participants, it's a must. So, yeah, maybe it is. I think this is the important part. These are the key financial issues So now I got another message. Oh, that's okay now. So these are the key finance issues just published by the Hacker Group before Christmas for 2021. So if we maybe have a look at number one, act as a strategic advisor. It means commenting is an important part for this, but you need time to do that. So if you want to be a strategic advisor, copy paste from previous months is just not enough. And if your aim is to be a value business partner, it means that the report generation must be fast. It must be more automated, which then, of course, will give you the needed time to analyze and comment data, because I believe that's your job. Your job is not copy paste from Word, from PowerPoint, from Excels. And then maybe at the end you have 5 minutes to put some comments in it. You should have like half day for commenting and a few minutes to get all the data together. Then the same, of course, then is with the improve the cost efficiency. That's the same. Again, if you can automate, if you can get faster, you have more time, you can play your role also as a business partner much better. Then number 7, number 9, if you use modern tools as SAP Analytics Cloud, all this is included in the same tool set, so in the same solution. So you can collaborate, you can comment, you build your dashboards, your stories, your analysis, all in the same solution. So there's you don't need to send out emails, etc. Send out questionnaires, maybe please put in some comments. You can, from within the solution, you can address your colleague and say, please put your comments here. Why are the numbers like this? Why is there no sales turnover for these products in your area, etc. So that all needs improves this. So Jan is looking at the time. I would hand over to you and you can continue with slide 8.
All right, thank you very much, Roland. Let me please welcome you all as well. Sorry for the trouble and thank you for your patience. Thank you also for participating in the pop-up survey. And before we dive into the collaboration and commenting features available in the SAP Analytics Cloud, I would like you to know that in order to transmit as much as information as possible within these, well, not 45 minutes anymore, we will be working a lot with animated pictures. So at least for this part of the presentation, the sharing and collaboration scenarios, we will be covering most of the topics within the slides. In this way, we can give you a quick idea on how they work without having to leave the actual presentation. And as soon as we continue to the live demo, I will show you some examples on how you could implement these functionalities for yourself. But please note that the main focus, as Roland already said, will be the commenting possibilities. And to get started, the collaboration within the SAP Analytics Cloud can be divided into the following topics, which can be starting a collaboration and sharing, for example, a story, setting the access permissions for this one, collaborating through the calendar functions, collaborating through discussions or commenting on a story, sharing files or folders, sharing a private version of tables within a story, and the functionalities currently available on mobile devices. The most common ways of starting to share and collaborate within the SAP Analytics Cloud is by starting a discussion within the chat function. So you just simply select the discussion icon, choose one or more users you want to collaborate or chat with, and start a conversation, just as it's shown in the animation. So you either type down the message, you can add attachments, or add a link to another story, for example. Posting comments on different stories or story elements is also a way of collaborating. And this is a great way of offering feedback or asking one of the users specifically on one element something. So you select the element you wish to comment on, click on the comment icon, type in your message, and you can address your comments directly to a specific user by tagging them with the @ symbol, which we probably know from social media already. And another possibility is to attach a task within the discussion function. And this is created and sent to a colleague when there is some information that needs to be added or cross-checked. For example, you can assign a task to either one or more collaborators. And when you assign a task to someone, you can include either a final reviewer, attach related content, set a deadline, and even set reminders. And as soon as the task is created and saved, the collaborators will receive an email with a link to the story and a notification within the notifications panel. And if you set a deadline, the event will be added to their calendar as well. When it comes to sharing a story, you can do this either internally or externally. If you share internally with someone, for example, you will share a story with members within your organization. And this is done by simply selecting the share option and then select the user you want to share the story with. Sharing a story with members in your organization who use the SAP Analytics Cloud allows them to use dynamic features such as maybe a hierarchical drill down, input controls, or linked dimensions. But if you need to share the story with someone external to your organization that does not have a user assigned on your tenant, you can export the story either as a PDF or a PowerPoint. At some point, Google Slides were possible, but that functionality is not available currently. You can select the range of pages you want to share of the story and then export the file. This file will be downloaded and be ready to be attached to an email, for example. And while this is a great way to share your story to external agents who may not have the SAP Analytics Cloud, and know that sharing your story will remove all the dynamic functionalities. But we will take a look at this on the demo. When you share a story internally, you will see this menu a lot. And the first thing you will notice is that huge link at the beginning. Just for demo purposes, I cutted it, wrote in demo, and shortened the link a lot. But more importantly, when you share a story, is setting the access rights to the user you're sharing the story with. You can set the permissions either to view, edit, give the full control over the story, or customize the way the user can access the story, just like it's shown in the animation. What's also worth mentioning here is that you can always go back to these settings and change or edit the access rights, which means that if you share the story with a user, asked him to change something within the story, and you only gave him viewing rights, then obviously he won't be able to do so. So you can go back, change the settings just by clicking on the share story, select the user, and then change the settings. So now I talked about sharing stories and setting permissions, but you don't always have to share the complete story or page. You can share a table or a spreadsheet within that story. You can just keep the access rights to the table that's within it, as it's shown in the animation, and either make that version read-only or allow the user to edit it. It's not only possible to share stories or a single spreadsheet from a story. Within your organization, you can also share files or folders with other users. And just like on the story sharing, you can edit the access rights to that folder, which means that if you share a folder to a user, that user will either have, again, the viewing rights, editing rights, or the full control over those files within that folder, which can be a little tricky if you don't want him to access all the files, stories, or models within it. In which case, we would recommend you to build a little folder structure, separate files within that structure and only then start sharing and giving the access rights. Last but not least, the actual functionality, which is working, is mobile sharing and collaborating through the SAP Analytics Cloud mobile app. This is currently only available for iOS devices, and if you want to open a page from a story on your mobile, there's this little prerequisite, and that is that page needs to be built on a responsive layout. But once you open the page, it's possible to either add a drawing or a text to the story, a boardroom presentation, or even an analytical application. And you can do this by selecting the annotations icon. Once you're done, you can tap on share icon, send that page per email with your annotations as it's shown in the slide, or save it for later using the Notes app on your iPhone. You can start and answer to discussions through the mobile app, and you will receive the notifications just as if you were on your computer. And with all that said, we're moving closer to our demo, where we will be covering following commenting functionalities: the commenting threads, story or page comments, comment on diagrams or tables, which can be known as the fixed comments for now. And then we will take a look at the commenting widget and comments on a single cell value, which can also be called data point comments, which are context sensitive. So let's get into our demo. And in order to point out and so that you can follow me better, I will have this red dot over my mouse. And let us take a look at the top right corner first. And here I have my notifications panel. And in here you will see, probably already know this, my latest notifications. So let us filter this drill down to the collaboration possibilities. And here we'll see that I was invited to 2 discussions. And one neat functionality is here that I switch directly from notifications to the collaboration. And in here I will see my latest active discussions. So let's take a look at the first one. As I said, I've got a few possibilities within the discussions function. The first one was adding a file. And if I click on this file, we will see on my bottom left corner that the file was directly downloaded. So my counterpart is not dependent on me on sending any additional files externally. I can do this directly through the discussions function. As I said, I can type in a few messages and assign tasks. So if I click on that, I will jump directly into the collaboration or into the calendar function. It opened my task I already assigned to this team, in which we can see the starting date, the due date. I can add additional files if I want to. I can add an URL if it's necessary, a little description. And in here I will see that my due date or my time was already passed. So let us give us a little bit more of time for this. Let's say 11:15. I could add a few other things, other owners or another assignee, and we want to make sure we're doing things right. So I'm going to add Roland as a review, for example. And if I want to create a dependency on tasks, so if I want to assign a parent, for example, that needs to be done before I even start with this composite tasks, I can add a hierarchy. I can add reminders. For example, for this one, I set a reminder 1 day before due date and another additional information if I want to. So if I click on the update button, I will see directly in the discussions function that this task has been updated, and my counterpart will be notified as well. Just give it a few seconds. So there it is. Great. So I did that part. And as I said, I can not only share files or tasks, I can add a link to a story. And to my colleague Leontina, I shared the link to our story to check out the commenting features. Now I've got two possibilities. As I already know on which page of the story my commenting features are built in, I could jump directly to it, but we've got another option here on this collaboration panel, which are the comment threads. And the first thing we need to notice is these are all the commenting functions I have some relation to. And the difference is that, for example, if I take the notifications and click on it, I will just delete the notification. But if I go back, to the comment threads and click on the bin, I will delete the whole comment. So we got to be careful with that. All right, let me make use of the comment thread and jump directly to this comment, for example. And this is the introduction to the fixed comments. For example, there is this link. I jump directly to this fixed comment. I can do this with this one as well. See this. And one big difference between the fixed comments and the commenting widget and data point comments is, as I already said, the fixed comments are not context sensitive. So if I filter on a page, these comments will not disappear. For example, I've got another comment over here. All these comments will stay. The first option of commenting that was used was the text field. And in my opinion, the only good thing about that was that we could edit the style. Not like these comments. If I add a comment over here, this will all be plain like this. And yes, I can, as I already said, I cannot change either colors or formatting. Okay, so much for the fixed comments. Let us focus now on the context-sensitive comments. On this comment, I made a little task for myself in order to show you how they work. So I'm going to filter on fiscal year. And if we focus on this commenting widget now, the comment will change. Not like these ones. This one stayed. We already saw these. But this one is context sensitive. And there's a dependency to the data. And just to show you now how the data point comment works, I assigned another task, which is a drill down on my spreadsheet in here. And you will notice this little dot. That is the data point comment. So if I change the filter, for example, to 2017, my data point comment will disappear and my commenting widget will change again. So if I want to add a data point comment, I need to have data behind the cell. As the helping function already will mention, commenting is only supported on data cells. Let's now look at another scenario of what happens if I need to comment on different elements of a story. And just for demo purposes, let me close this one. I use the same model or source, behind this chart and commenting widget for the top part. So you will see the same comments we saw on the first page in here. You see my little task. Obviously, I cannot do that now, but just let me show you the difference of what happens if I have two different sources behind these pages. And if I filter on 2015 and 2016 on the bottom part, I will have a complete different comment. And in order to do so, as I said, we need to add different sources behind the comment widget. As we see in here, my source is this data search Sunny Rooms, and for the previous page, I had this query. Well, that would have been it for my demo part. And I will go back to the presentation and hand over to Roland. In case you have any questions, we will have a look at them in the chat. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Yanis. Maybe we just have one question. I'm not sure if you mentioned it. The question was about the data point comment with live connection.
I can already say
if that works. I mean, yeah.
That is not possible at this moment, but we know that in a future direction it will be possible. So currently, all the data point commenting functionalities are available for import sources.
Thank you. So, yes, we come to the conclusion. If you move right, conclusion, or also a bit, we had a look at the roadmap. If you follow the SAC development for quite some time, you see that a lot has happened during, especially I think during the last 2 to 3 years. Of course, we wonder a bit if the expectation towards commenting and collaboration have been met by now. If not, we hope that you see here that the development is going on in this part also, as well as, of course, in a lot of other parts in the SAC. And please, I mean, SAP is always happy to know, and I think also listen to your expectations, how you would like to do commenting, collaboration in a way that it's working, that it's really giving you value add. Furthermore, what you didn't hear at the beginning, I assume, is that SAP just announced last week and also yesterday again in a call the collaboration with Teams. And so it means that the Microsoft Teams is going to be a part of the SAP products, or will be embedded into SAP products in future. This should start happening about mid-year. But if you have a look here at the roadmap, Q1, what's happening in Q1, that's I think soon to be released. As you know, there's also the Analytics Designer, which is also part of the SAC, and the commenting widget will be integrated into Analytics Designer, so you will have more options there, how to manipulate, how to work with it. Then in Q2, Yanis before mentioned, formatting is not possible, but that's going to be happen Q2 onwards. Was also one question in the chat, actually, if this is planned to happen. Yes, it does. So we will have the possibility to format widget, data points, and the comment widget. So that gives, again, more flexibility, or you can do nicer reports, nicer dashboards, of course. And then one thing also always when we talked with clients was a bit about the rights management for comments when you share the stories or the analytical applications with multiple users. So it's, of course, maybe not everybody should add a comment. Maybe not everybody should see the comment or have access to them. and also the deletion part. Yanis mentioned it. If it's deleted, it's deleted. So there's more on that part coming. Then on Q3, data point commenting. So you can copy comments across versions. That's, as for now, also not really possible, but that's going to happen. So that's what we saw for the following 3 quarters. Then on the next slide, a short outlook from our side, what's going to happen this year with our webinars. We will soon start a series focusing on the SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, another cloud solution from SAP, which is as similar to the SAC. It's also built new. It is built for the business users. So again, maybe some of you heard my webinars last year, enablement, democratize BI. So this is all going into that direction, that also you as a business, in a business function, can even build more analytics applications. Then of course, on the reporting side, Data Warehouse Cloud, the SAP Analytics Cloud plays an important role. So we have planned a few, always a bit going deeper into the topic, a few webinars on that. Then as I mentioned, but you didn't hear me at the beginning, we will continue with this webinars with the news topics. We will focus here mainly on the topics more related to the business. So what's really important if you are the business user, if you build your own stories, what is giving you more enablement, more support, more help on that. Then of course we have, as you know, CubeSurf is doing the whole business intelligence part. So of course you have many more topics in that area. Things like S4 Analytics for operative reporting will be also addressed in one of the webinars. And then I like to draw your attention to the SAP Now Switzerland. It is, due to the circumstances, it's going to be a completely virtual, digital event this year. It's going over 2 weeks, and one thing is nice. If I'm correct, attendance or the participation is free of charge for everyone, and of course you can exactly choose which slots you like to see. There's a lot of content, a lot of interaction possible if you like. We also CubeSurf, we will have a virtual booth where you can directly talk to us during those 2 weeks. So it's really not a robot or somebody behind. It's probably me and some of my colleagues who will be there, answer to your questions in a live chat. And we also will be there with one client where we plan to go on site on the client with real-time video applications, etc. So quite a lot of happening. I think quite exciting. Also the content, and of course free of charge. So you can already pre-register for it. Then, of course, I like to draw your attention here to our workshops offering for the SAP Analytics Cloud, how to get started or how to move forward. If you have already started, then we just published a new flyer with Get Started with Advanced Analytics, a topic in many companies, sometimes a bit difficult on how to start with it and where to start. This is quite 2 days. It's a 2-day workshop, quite lean. It's also one thing is also a bit to see on the readiness of your organization, of your people for advanced analytics. Is it there? Are certain things needed? So have a look at this flyer. Might be very interesting. Okay, then even though we had a bit of disruption at the beginning, we are quite on time. I will put some of the some of the things which I talked about, I will put it on the slides, and most of you know us already, so I will skip for today. Who are we? You will have it in your handout. But I would like to thank you a lot for your attention. Sorry again for the beginning, for the problem with the voice transmission. And of course, me and Yanis are happy to get your feedback, to get your questions. Just let us know, get in touch with us. Thanks a lot and have a nice day.
Have a nice day too.
Okay, bye.